And to Mondello Park, we have 2 more hours of motorsport coming up here now on Network 2. We'll be featuring Irish Dunlop touring cars. We also have Formula Fords, Fiat Unos, and of course the feature event of the afternoon itself, the actual Leinster Trophy race. That'll be live at about 5 o'clock. Coming up shortly, we're going to have those Fiat Unos I was talking about, and 2 gentlemen who will be taking part in that race are, well, lads who've tried their hand at singing on occasions. Boyzone, Ronan Keating and Shane Lynch. Lads, you're very welcome indeed. I think, Ronan, you've had dabbled in this in the past.
I used to put some pressure on the tyres and clean the cars. That's about as far as I got done before.
Was your brother involved?
Yeah, Kieran, he prepared the cars. That's how I got involved through that.
And what's your excuse?
I just went along with him, that's all. You know, it's gone with the flow, you know what I mean? That's it.
Yeah, he told you were going to enjoy this.
That's it, yeah. He said,
he's lied.
Yeah, come help me out, Shano, that's what he said.
Okay, so what about this race itself? Have you tried out these Fiats?
We were out there earlier on, yeah, having a blast. It's good fun, good fun. That's all we're out for, you know.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Ronan? What are you expecting from the race?
For myself, not very much. Shano will do well, he's a good player.
Yeah, I expect to hit the bank and stuff like that, you know, that's about it.
That's a strong possibility. Okay then, well, let's just go and see what happens as we join our commentators for that Fiat Uno race, Brian Shute and Alan Tyndall.
So Boyzone on the grid, and along with an awful lot of other cars, because absolutely packed grid for this round of the Dunlop Fiat Uno Challenge Cup. And on pole position, Roy McCain, not the first time he's been there this year, number 64. Alongside him, Mark Turley, really the man who's been doing the most winning recently in this very competitive class. On the second row, it'll be Quinton Whale, a newcomer really to this type of racing. Sorry, I should say Graham McClintock in the second row there, number 14. And then Eugene Heary. Trevor Noble, David Maguire, they are about to set off on their green lap, and alongside me, with me here is Brian Shute.
Yes, and the front row is a reversed of the last race because Mark Turley was on pole position and Roy McCain was beside him, and it's very, very important for both of them because all down to championship points. Turley at the moment leading the championship with 79 points to McCain's 62. So it could be all decided today. If not, it'll go down the wire to September the 22nd. But today it is McCain in the time of 69.8 seconds, believe it or not, for a little 1300 Uno around this 1.25 mile track. Beside him, Mark Turley in a time of 69.89, so 900ths of a second split them. On the second row, as Alan said, is young Graham McClintock, and beside him Eugene Heary. And up the front there's a battle between the motorsport professionals who prepare these cars. On pole position, Roy McCain in the Joe Murray car, and Mark Turley, who says all his success is down to Steve Griffin's preparation. Alan, would you believe that? I think he's a little better driver than he makes out.
Steve Griffin, of course, very successful himself in this type of cars. And for the Boyzone fans, Shane Lynch is 4 rows from the back, and Ronan Keating is on the second last row. And as the saying goes in motorsport, you better meet a better class of people at the back of the grid.
You might feel a better class of bumper down the back of the grid as well. They can get fairly hectic here, as we've seen on television. They get fairly close, and the first lap, let's hope we get through that all without any more red flag incidents. But McCain from the north has taken up this ex-stock car driver, drives very well, and is a very, very hard driver. Turley, more relaxed, I think was celebrating his win last night, might be feeling a little uneasy, but that's Ronan Keating there, number 36 in the Boyzone car, as they make their way around Dunlop to come down onto the grid. An absolute full grid, all 26 spaces taken up. So the third row of the grid, we'll just give you them. Trevor Noble, and beside him Dave Maguire, who was in a lovely third place yesterday, but unfortunately had a clutch let go on him and pulled off the exhaust as well. So he'll be looking to do better. The fifth row, Denning and Gilbert McFarlane. Then it's Mark Cuff and Clive Pratt, Bill Griffin and Carlo. Bill Griffin, a brother of Steve Griffin's. And the great thing about having a car prepared by Steve Griffin, 5 seconds board on, 5 seconds board, so everybody revving up, and after 5 seconds a start, and a super start on the outside of the front row from Turley. I think he caught Kane a little sleepy there, the touch of the Damon Hills asleep on the grid, and coming down the outside there it is Heary, and that is Maguire. Someone going very wide there, but Maguire there in the red and blue and orange car, just slotting himself in there to 4th place, looking for 3rd as they stream out into the country.
Heary, yes, the 3rd, I think it was, but Roy McCain a little bit frustrated once again, beaten off the line, and he really has been putting in fast times always in qualifying, but he's a frustrated driver these days because he's not getting the results he wants.
It's actually McClintock up there, the man that was in 3rd place in the grid. He's held that 3rd place, but it's Maguire from the fourth row that just jumped ahead of Heary as they come down, but it's Turley and side by side McClintock trying around the outside. This young man has superb car control, does very well, but he's trying to put an odd wheel on the grass and get out of shape. But look at Turley, 2 car lengths at the moment as they head up the hill to Dunlop for the first time. Fourth place car there is Dave Maguire, and again just locking the wheels there. Young McClintock lost a lot of time. McCain just got through up into the, as all that was happening, McCain slipped up the inside and just caught Turley napping.
So Roy McCain leads at the end of the first lap. In second place, Mark Turley. No, it's not. It's McClintock now. Up into second place in the Exide car, just giving Turley a little bit of a piff. Maguire's down the inside. Then we had Heary. And then the whole stream through. And everybody's still going. That means Boyzones are still in there and having, I would say, one of the experiences of their lifetime at the moment.
It's one thing to stand up in front of 20,000 people and sing your biggest hit, but when you're sitting out there with 2 guys each side trying to move you over onto the grass, it's a different thing. And as he zips through there, that was Keating, but this is the battle at the moment for the lead. McCain, something like Turley again on the grass, being pushed out there. Now maybe Turley is a problem because he's been passed very, very quickly. He's down into 5th place. So it's Dave Maguire and the Ken Bulger motorsport car. He's up into 3rd place. So 3 professionals out there. We've got Griffin 1st and 2nd on the preparation and Bulger in 3rd place. And again, Turley way out over the curb, just losing out there badly, but he's trying very, very hard indeed. And Heary on the inside, just closing the door there. Now, I think he must have a problem. We think there's somebody with a jump start. We'll tell you who that is later on because it may affect the overall positions as they stream down. It is still Dave Maguire at the moment with Heary on his bumper and Turley being dropped down there, believe it or not. Trevor Noble just got by Mark Turley, so this is not good for his championship, Alan.
No, indeed. And of course, the man who's big rival in the championship, McCain, it's very good for him at the moment because he's out in the lead. And these little 1300 and very, very sideways, McClintock, number 14, he's gone. He has gone, and he's in a very awkward position. He's got to get himself out of there very quickly, which thankfully he did. So he's lost about 4 places in that. Young Graham McClintock started racing last year, and that was probably one of the biggest frights of his life there. So there he is now. He rejoins the race, but well done. He must have lost about 4 places in that heart-stopping moment. And of course, we had major heart-stopping moments yesterday here at Mondello in the Fiat Unos when we had a very big accident actually stopped the race, and consequently we're missing some of the Fiat Uno regulars, particularly a couple of the Pratt brothers from Carlo.
Still McCain. I did say that young McClintock got great car control. He has a habit of just throwing it into the corner, and then he can hold in this long slide. But Alan says he lost 2 or 3 places. That is Maguire and Heary. They are now fighting for 2nd place. McCain out in the lead. We've lost Turley. He's down in 5th place, 4th place now. In fact, losing out again, but it's Maguire in the Evolution cars. Like a little nudge there from McClintock, just giving Turley a little nudge, helping him on his way as they motor down. So he's making a good recovery, McClintock.
Absolutely. And interesting to see, there he is, number 14, McClintock, and Thurley there, the man who had been on the front row of the grid, and he's really off form this afternoon, very unusually, in the Rathdown Motors car.
And again, McClintock coming down with Turley there, and that's Liam Denning just tucked in behind Turley. He's the next man to look at Turley's position. So McClintock from Turley, from Liam Denning as they come out of the 2nd part of the S's. There we go up there. Trevor Noble now being caught slightly. And number 14 is getting a warning at the moment. That is McClintock. That will be getting the naughty boy warning when he comes by the next time. But that's our leader, Roy McCain. He's thinking, what can I have to do? Championship positions. Fantastic. Remember, Turley was leading by 79 points to 62, and he's back in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position at the moment, so this won't help him at all.
So Roy McCain, just the opportunity he wants with 1 round to go after this. He's 2.3 seconds in the lead over 2nd place man Dave Maguire, then Eugene Heary right on his back bumper, then Trevor Noble, then Mark Turley, then McClintock, then Denning, then Cuff. And that's the order as these little 1300 racers race round Mondello Park in extraordinary times. 1 minute 9 seconds. Very, very fast times indeed for these little lightweight racers. Great dice here for 2nd place. Dave Maguire at the moment in car number 5 with Eugene Heary, whose car is incidentally for sale, just right behind him.
I'm sure Roy McCain will be thanking Eugene Healy very much indeed, because all the time he keeps Dave Maguire busy. And we just see that number 16, I think it's Seamus McGardle, unfortunately has retired, so we've lost another one. Maguire, brave enough, goes out wide and takes up the fastest line as they come back down onto Dave McCain at the moment with about a 20-car lead, but you can see what's happening in the background. So it's Maguire from Healy, and then Trevor Noble, but Dave Maguire, a very, very good pilot, doesn't always come out. Went in the Phoenix Park, had a problem yesterday, but has just set up his own business in specialising in upmarket motor cars in Palmerston called Evolution Motors. But he loves to race these Unos and has had a number of successes, especially in the Phoenix Park. So Maguire now being followed really closely by Eugene Healy, and again McCain, you can see, just sitting up the front hoping that everything stays together for him and he gets those maximum points today.
Boyzone update, the situation with the two Boyzone members. We have Shane Lynch in 19th place, and he's car number 19, and the other one, number 36, he's not even on our charts at the moment, I'm afraid. As Ronan Keating, we thought he'd actually dropped out of the race, but we can see that he's still going.
Yes, I think he had a little off the road and had a visit to the grass. But somebody else getting a warning, number 21. That won't affect the latest. So it's still McCain from Dave Maguire. Where is our Dave Maguire? Dave Maguire at the moment still gone back a place. Dave is dropping back all the time. So we have a new second-placed man. It is Eugene Healy. Eugene Healy, and that's McClintock making a return up. So it's Eugene Healy in second place now from Trevor Noble, and he's coming under a lot of pressure for that third place from Craig McClintock.
So Dave Maguire is still there, we could see him, but he's dropped back 3 places, and that makes a big difference. So there's Trevor Noble, number 33, with the National Insurance car. Then the Exide car, the great recovery, as you say, of young Graham McClintock after that huge Friday he had. I think it was on the 2nd lap. So Graham McClintock now back up to 4th, Dave Maguire's 5th, Turley is 6th, Cuff 7th, Woods 8th, Griffin 9th, and McFarland 10th, and Lynch is up a place. The Boyzone man is up a place, Shane Lynch, and he's up into 18th place.
The battle is really for 3rd place. There is Dave Maguire. He's dropped back there now, and he's dropping into the clutches of a recovering Mark Turley. But the battle at the moment for 2nd place, Eugene Healy on his own, but for 3rd place, and they're really at it, number 33 there, Trevor Noble and McClintock. So there they're coming down. The National Insurance card, and again he throws it in, and this is what I'm saying about car control, but he wipes off the speed. He nearly got away with it. That's one of those moves, if you get away with your hero, and if you don't, well, what can you say? And again Maguire now is beginning to make moves on it, but there again, just a little excited McClintock gets, but he came in, he had that 2nd place, but nobody can get in that deep on the brakes with these cars.
So Roy McCain's made the break, Eugene Healy's made the break, but Trevor Noble has all this traffic behind him, namely now McClintock still, then Dave Maguire in the orange car just coming into picture there, and then right behind him Mark Turley, who's having a disappointing day by his standards.
Yes, Mark could do it, moving up 1 or 2 places into the top 3 would be nice for him, or maybe the top 4, but at the moment he's way down the points. Maximum points for McCain won't get him the championship today, as the limit will all be down to the 22nd of September, the last round, and that's the way championship should be, out over the curbs again. But there is the battle there. That is for 2nd place, and McClintock still actually recovering well after that spin.
Now is he going to try it again? He gets 2 sideways. I wonder, has he a problem there? I wonder, has he a problem with a rear tire or something, because the car should not really go that sideways.
No, he drives that style. He lifts off, and sometimes he uses the left foot for braking, but if a left-hand back tire was slightly soft, that would happen, or a shock absorber maybe let go, it would trick it out. He wants to stick the tail out everywhere he's turning into a right-hander. But these two at the moment still battling away, and they'd actually be holding up the men behind. I'd hate to be sitting behind Graham McClintock and have to see the side of his car, then the back of his car, and the other side of his car. You wouldn't know which way to go. Up on the grass there. That's Shane Lynch. That's the other man, Ronan Keating. So, oh, and leaving the braking right till the very last there of Coca-Cola. And he's on maximum understeer as he gets back out onto the road. That is the battle there for 2nd place. Still hot and heavy between Noble. Third place, I should say. It's Hurley still in second place. So the battle here, that is the battle of third place between now. Let's see if McClintock tries this manoeuvre again, where he goes the outside, then flicks back across the inside. No, again under brake, and the car doesn't seem to want to steer in, Alan.
Came in very late that time. He's got the momentum this time. Is he going to be able to get it round across the bows? If he does, it's a great manoeuvre, a superb piece of driving. McClintock goes up into third place, past Trevor Noble, and really I think that was probably, Brian, what he had been trying to set up for a couple of laps.
Well, if that is, it's brilliant, because he sold him the dummy twice down the inside, and then the next time he went down the outside, came across the back of the bows of Trevor Noble and just nipped inside, but a brave manoeuvre around the outside of that left-hander. That is our race leader at the moment, Roy McCain, in the main engineering, prepared by Joe Murray Motorsport. So Joe to the lead at the moment. Eugene Hurley not making any inroads. You can see the gap there to the second place man, and now it's a lonely third place for McClintock, because he's just beginning to pull away there from Trevor Noble.
I think we're going to have to watch the gap there between McClintock and Hurley. Because I imagine McClintock is probably one of the quickest men out there. He did a 1:10.98 on the last lap. Mind you, here he is doing 1:10.48. So it's all pretty close stuff indeed. And there we see it. Trevor Noble now under the attention of David Maguire as they go round Coca-Cola Bend and out into the country once more. Brian, maybe take us around a lap driving one of these little
what
motor
it
cars.
is, let's say, there's McClintock as they come down into the double apex. He'd nip it into third gear, heavy on the brakes, just let it slide out a bit, then really heavy on braking here, into second gear, then try and turn up the hill without turning the wheel too much. You scrub off the speed, let the car drift out. Then you grab third gear and you hold third gear here, and it screams its little brains out to 8,200 revs. Then through here in second, then just about there you change into third gear, one quick dab off the hand, and then let it drift out to the side of the road, not using the rumble strips. That is not good for these cars. And then again braking late, go a little bit by the bend, turn back in, clip the apex, and again let it drift out, getting third gear and then top gear. And this is our race leader, and Hurley, believe it or not, is putting in a little spurt with 4 laps to go. Hurley at the moment at 10.64, lapping just marginally slower than our leader did, but before that he was nearly a second slower, so he's coming onto the time, so he's holding that station. Eugene Hurley there, the car for sale. He'd like to have a win under his belt for this one, add some price to it, but he's coming down into Bridgestone, very, very quick part of the circuit, into second gear, braking, turning up the hill. That's McCain, that's our leader, under no pressure at the moment. All he's got to do is keep the head down, nice, clean, stay off the rumble strips, use all the bits, and that's the gap to second. And third place, McClintock now. Let me see. McClintock, the quickest man on the circuit at the moment, lapping in a time of 1:10.19, so he's nearly half a second quicker than the two men in first and second.
So electrifying lap there from McClintock in the last time round. That was on his 10th lap. We've now completed 11 laps on the 12th lap, 3 laps to go. Roy McCain, is he going to get this win that he's so much hankered for? It's going to be very, very important for his championship hopes. He crosses the line. Here he crosses the line in second place, 3.6 seconds behind him. Then Graham McClintock, as we said, fastest man out there at the moment, in third place. Followed by Trevor Noble, Dave Maguire, Mark Cuff. He's come up very well, number 55. Mark Cuff in the Marks Models car, but he's a long way back from this man, Roy McCain, from Brashane, just outside Ballymena. One of the few northern drivers, funny enough, who compete in this class, and been very successful indeed since he came in. 22, locking up a little bit, and in big trouble. Big trouble indeed, I'm afraid, for Patrick Lawler.
The oil
yellow
flag.
flags. Oil flags, as you say.
Oil flag there, a little bit of smoke, and someone actually spun on the oil there, so that little puff that you saw meant that it was just throwing some of, again, it was Keating, the Boyzone lad, being caught out by the oil. That's no shame, and he's not long out there racing, but McCain was also caught out. He had a lot of understeer to go through there. He comes down now to start with 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. Here at the moment, ignore the third car from the results point of view. That's young Ronan Keating, but he is being lapped at the moment. McClintock just going by. McClintock again putting in fast times. He's done a 10.61. And the one thing I notice, Alan, is we seem to have lost Mark Turley completely. The championship leader seems to have retired. We're just checking.
He's down there in 15th place, 1 lap down on the leaders. So Mark Turley, a disastrous outing for him after his great successes both yesterday and in Phoenix Park.
Actually, that's Greg, his brother. Just you would have him down as Turley. It's number 12. That's Greg Turley. So I still don't see Mark Turley. So maybe he stopped out in the circus. And now with no points for Turley in this race, let us presume he stopped. This is really going to make it interesting.
Right, little battle going on there. Number 61 just down below is David Livingstone, having a lot of company out on the track at the moment. And back with the leader, Roy McCain, coming up the hill. And there's second place man, Eugene Heary. Eugene Heary, real veteran in motorsport. He's raced in Formula V, in Formula Ford, and of course then Fiat Unos. And now he's going to go hill climbing, he tells me. On to their last lap they go. First three, Ken McClintock is undoubtedly catching Heary, but I think he's left it all a little bit too late. Roy McCain just got to keep it cool now as he goes round Coca-Cola for the last time. Crosses over onto the left-hander with the adverse camber coming in and a bit of a rise going out, so you can let it drift out there. And heading down into the country for the very last time.
And down at Bridgestone, if he's working it out in his head, I'm sure he has time. He's got plenty. Is that at 79 points for Turley? He's going to get 12 points, which will bring him up to 74 points. Only 5 points in it going into the last round. It's 12 points for win and 10 points for second. And we haven't confirmation from the timekeepers, but I don't think Turley is on the charts at the moment. So McCain going to get those vital 12 points. Turley doesn't score any, and this will make it very tight for September the 22nd.
It says clean well on the front wing, and he's cleaning up here at the moment as it comes into Dunlop Corner for the last time down the hill to the most welcome sight in motor racing, the checkered flag. Roy McCain wins it, and second place is going to be Mark Turley. Closer, incidentally, closed up there. Third, a very good recovery should have been Eugene Heary in second place. A very good recovery from Graham McClintock in third place, and fourth, Trevor Noble, and that's the result. So there he is.